Good day, everyone. I am Lizal Geronio together with Regina Suela and Elisa Loren Sanchez, and we will be discussing the violence against women. So, violence against women refers to acts that cause physical, sexual, emotional, or economic harm to women, often due to their gender. And at the end of this chapter, the student should be able to identify the various forms of violence against women, and also explain how even subtle forms of violence affect women, and articulate ways to prevent violence against women. For the outline of our topic, we have the types of violence against women, the impact of vow, loss in vow, and also the prevention and response.
There are two types of vow, the physical and sexual violence. It's identified as the two umbrella terms. There are four types of violence. The first one is physical violence. This is the most visible form of abuse. It involves the use of physical force against a person that results in or has the potential to result in bodily harm or injury. The next one is sexual violence. This refers to any sexual act, attempt to obtain a sexual act or unwanted sexual comment, advances through coercion or force. This can occur within marriage or committed relationship. For example, for sexual intercourse, sexual harassment, or forcing someone to perform sexual act. The third one is psychological violence, often called emotional abuse. This involves acts or omission that cause mental or emotional suffering. This type of violence is used to diminish a person's sense of self-worth and maintain control over them. For example, constant intimidation, public humiliation, stalking, verbal abuse, or threatening to take away children. And the last one is economic abuse or violence. This is a form of control where the abuser makes or attempts to make a victim financially dependent. By limiting access to resources, the abuser ensures the victim cannot leave the relationship. For example, preventing a partner from working, controlling all the money, withholding food or basic necessities. The first one is sexual harassment. Define her as a specific form of sexual violence occurring outside the home. It encompasses a range of behavior that create a hostile or offensive environment. The next one is street harassment, a subset of sexual harassment occurring in public spaces. Example including catcalling or verbal comments or groping or unwanted physical contact by strangers. Next is pornography, defined in this context as any product featuring sexual explicit acts created for sales and consumption. Prostitution, engaging in sexual activity specifically in exchange of payment. Next is sex tourism, a specific type of travel where the primary or secondary motive is to engage in paid sexual activities often in foreign countries. Next is sex exploitation, the act of using another person's body to gain a profit or advantage. And the last one is sex trafficking, a served human rights violation where human trafficking is conducted.
Spiritual violence, religion or beliefs are used to control, silence, or justify discrimination against women. When faith is used to remove a woman's voice, that is abuse. There is also reproductive or medical abuse, where women are forced to make decisions about their own bodies without consent. And intimate partner violence and domestic violence happen within relationships and homes, spaces that are supposed to be safe but become places of fear because of unequal power. Vow affects more than emotions. It affects health, opportunities, and participation in society. Studies show that victims lose 1 out of 5 healthy days because of abuse. That is not minor, that is systemic harm. In the Philippines, women's rights improved with the 1987 Constitution recognizing gender equality. But before that, rape was treated as a crime against chastity, husband-controlled property, and many forms of abuse were not fully acknowledged. This shows how deeply discrimination was embedded in our system. Requires more than sympathy. Vow persists because of cultural norms, stigma, weak enforcement of laws, and lack of awareness. So what must we do? We condemn all forms of violence. We educate, we support survivors, we strengthen lost, and we build a culture where abuse is never normalized. Silence protects abusers. Awareness protects victims. Ending violence against women is not optional. It is our responsibility.
By understanding these terminologies, it helps us identify and address the issue effectively. It also raises awareness about the women's right, helps recognize forms of abuse, and empowers survivors to seek for help. We also have the important event or person involved. The first one is the Philippine law protecting women and children from domestic violence and abuse. The second one is individuals or groups promoting and fighting for women's rights and empowerment. And the third one is a law expanding women's rights and protection in the Philippines. There's many cases of vow in the Philippines, including the case of Anna Helen Duni, where she was assaulted by her boyfriend Keith Thompson in March 2022. And the incident highlights the grim reality of vow in the Philippines. In order to prevent this, we should support survivors, educate and raise awareness, strengthen laws, and engage the community to prevent violence against women. By working together to promote gender equality, respect, and support, we can create a society where women are safe from violence and empowered to thrive. Let's break the cycle of abuse and build a brighter future for all.